All right, my name is Brady Johnson. I am a first-year admissions counselor here at Winona State University, and I'm here to talk to you all a little bit today about Winona State. So starting off, we'd like to talk a little bit about the location itself. As you guessed it, Winona State University is located in Winona, Minnesota. You can see the photo of our beautiful campus here. It is tucked right in between the Mississippi River, and this is Lake Winona here. This is a very beautiful part of the country. You can see on the photos over here our students taking advantage of the outdoors. We do have paved paths around Lake Winona, so the large portion of Lake Winona, there's a paved path of about 3.5 miles around, and then the shorter portion of the lake is about 1.5 miles around. You can see here in the upper right-hand corner, these are some students climbing up Sugarloaf. So Sugarloaf is one of our major landmarks in the city of Winona. It's a rock formation up on the top of the bluffs. Included in your tuition, you do get access to all necessary equipment and guidance to be able to climb up Sugarloaf if that's something you'd be interested in doing. In the wintertime, we also have a pretty unique thing in town here. It's called the ice climbing park. So they actually freeze over a part of the bluffs. And again, you get access to all necessary equipment. So like spike shoes and hatchets to be able to climb up the side of that. It's one of only a few man-made ice climbing parks in the United States. So that's a pretty unique thing to the city of Winona that we have here. Maybe heights really aren't your thing, but you want to try out climbing. We do have an indoor climbing facility at Winona State as well. It's over 6,000 square feet of indoor climbing space. It's one of the largest at a university in the Midwest, so we're very proud of that. A little bit more about the city of Winona itself and the location of the university. We are 4 blocks north of that Lake Winona, as I mentioned, and then just 4 blocks south of our downtown region as well. So in downtown, you're going to find coffee shops, restaurants, storefronts, ice cream shops, all sorts of good stuff. So with us being so centrally located, everything is very walkable. It's really easy to get around town. So with us being in the bluffs, the city of Winona itself is surprisingly flat. So again, easy to walk and bike as well. So if you don't want to bring a car that first year, you really do not have to. Moving on a little bit about Winona State University itself. We do consider ourselves a size medium. So what does that mean? That means at Winona State University, you are kind of getting the best of both worlds. You're really getting that large university experience and kind of a smaller university footprint. So with 8,000 total students, you're really going to get opportunities to meet new folks all the time, whether that be in the residence halls, in the dining facilities, in class, just around campus. But you're also going to be bumping into familiar faces everywhere you go to. So you really kind of get the best of both worlds there. We do have over 80 majors and programs at Winona State as well. So a lot of students will really kind of mix and match. They might double major, they might double major, double minor. The list goes on and on. There's really a lot of different ways that you can really customize that educational experience to really learn exactly what you want to during your time here. We are Ncaa Division II as well, so we have 14 Division II teams and 1 Division III, with that being gymnastics. Access to these sporting events is included in your tuition at Winona State, so if you want to go to those football games or those basketball games, you just show that student ID and you get access to those events. We do have over 150 student organizations at Winona State as well, so these range everywhere from more club and intramural. So like, for example, our women's rugby team just won the national championship at the club level just a few years ago. We do have club and intramural baseball, things like that as well. Also more academic-based organizations such as American Marketing Association or the Nursing Club, things of that nature. And then more leisure-based organizations as well. We have a tie-dye club where students meet up once a week and they bring whatever they want to tie-dye, and they supply the ink for you. You can tie-dye shirts or whatever you want to do. We even have a Super Smash Bros. Club where students meet up once a week and just play Super Smash Bros. For a little bit. So really a lot of great opportunities for you to get involved and meet some new folks. Also, I do like to mention that while we do have a large number of organizations on campus, If there's something that you are passionate and interested in, and you don't see it on that student organization list, I always encourage students to pursue creating an organization. We give you all the necessary tools and resources to be able to create that for yourself and the other students on campus. I myself was the co-founder of an organization during my time as a student here at Winona State, and that organization is still going strong today with over 40 members. So again, if you have an interest, I encourage you to pursue that. Some more facts about Winona State here. We do have the #1 student success rate in the Minnesota state system. So with there being a number of schools in that min-state system, we are definitely proud of that. I also like to point out America's 100 best college buys for 24 years. Going to school is an investment. So it's really good to know that when you're picking Winona State, you're not just making a good decision personally, but you're making a good decision financially as well. And one of the reasons why we think Winona State is such a great university is our engaged faculty. So with an average class size of just 19 students, you're really going to have those engaging experiences in class. You're really going to get to know your classmates as well, and you really are going to get to know those faculty members too. So they also have at least 10 hours a week of open office time that each faculty member is required to have. So that's just another great touch point for you to be able to go in and kind of ask some questions you might have one-on-one. We like to say at Winona State that we learn by doing, and one of the ways to do that is by taking advantage of internship opportunities. So you can see we do have a list here of some of our off-campus opportunities that students have taken advantage of. We do have a number of on-campus opportunities as well. So maybe you are interested in photography or writing. We do have the Winona, that is our on-campus newspaper. Maybe you are into talk radio or you want to be a DJ. We do have KQAL, that's our on-campus radio station. So lots of great ways to get involved and gain some experience right on campus here. But kind of going back to those off-campus opportunities, I like to point out Fastenal Corporation. Their corporate headquarters is located right in Winona, Minnesota here. So we at Winona State have a very great relationship with Fastenal. They have staff members who come on the campus regularly for events. The students really get to know them and get a good feel of what that organization is like. Typically, those lead to internship opportunities, which then very often lead to full-time opportunities after graduation as well. And I like to point out the Mayo Clinic. I'm sure most of you are familiar with the Mayo Clinic, but what you may not know is they are actually the #1 hirer of Winona State graduates. And this is Winona State overall. So not just nursing, but business, education, science, and engineering. They are the #1 hirer of Winona State graduates. So again, just a great relationship we have. Another way that we like to learn by doing here at Winona State is by taking advantage of study abroad opportunities. You can see on the map here, this is a list of some of the locations that we have for students to go. We have over 140 destinations for our students to go to. And these range anywhere from our travel study experiences, which are typically 1 to 3 weeks long. These are faculty led, so you won't be sitting in on a classroom for these, but you will be earning college credit for those. And then we do have our semester and year-long opportunities as well. Our motto at Winona State is we are a community of learners improving our world. And we believe that one of the best ways to do that is to go out, learn a little bit about the world, learn a little bit about yourself in the process, and then take that back home with you. So we are one university at Winona State, but we do have 5 different colleges. We think it's important to know a little bit about all 5, as you'll probably spend some time in all 5 during your time as a student here at Winona State. Starting off with the College of Business, we have 7 majors and 12 minors within the College of Business. You can see here in our slides, our students are in our College of Business Engagement Center. This is a new facility we have in Thompson Hall. Our business building is equipped with conference rooms, as you see here, as well as mock interview and sales rooms, and then of course, great study and collaboration space. So this is a really great way for students to get that hands-on learning experience, to feel what it's like to be in that corporate environment. We are AACSB accredited as well. So less than 5% of business programs in the entire world actually receive that AACSB accreditation. So we are very proud to boast that. Moving on to the College of Education. So Winona State was originally founded in 1858 as the first state-funded teacher school west of the Mississippi. So we have been preparing future educators here at Winona State for over 160 years. Something else very exciting about our College of Education, our elementary education program was ranked #1 in the state of Minnesota and #9 in the United States by teacher.org. Also, we just recently opened up our Education Village, which is a cluster of buildings just 2 blocks east of our main campus. These buildings are dedicated primarily towards education classes, but this is also a great space for all students to access, as there's great study space over there, as well as that rock climbing wall that I mentioned earlier. Moving on to the College of Liberal Arts. This is our largest college on campus with over 30 programs and 13 departments. You can see here again, very hands-on learning within the College of Liberal Arts. I like to point out some of our pathway programs when I'm talking about the College of Liberal Arts. So you have partnership pathway programs at Winona State. One example of that would be within legal studies. So this is a 3+3 partnership pathway. So you would do your first 3 years of school at Winona State, and then you would move on to the Mitchell Hamlin School of Law for your next 3 years. Another example of a pathway program would be our Purple Pathway programs. We have one of those in English studies. This is a 3+2 program. So you'll receive your bachelor's and your master's in 5 years, and you'll do all 5 years of school here at Winona State. I also like to point out that we do offer Japanese and Chinese studies. We are the only school in the Min-State system that offers those as programs. So we are very proud of that. You are not required to take a foreign language during your time here at Winona State if you choose not to do so. Moving on to our College of Nursing and Health Sciences, you can see under the majors list there, we do have another one of those pathway programs. This is a Purple Pathway program in athletic training. So you get your bachelor's and your master's in just 5 years. You can see in the photos that are shuffling through here, again, a very hands-on learning experience. Right here, this is one of our many lab spaces we have on campus. This one in particular is set up to look kind of like a hospital, well, exactly like a hospital, really. And you can see there in the bed, that is not a real person. That is one of our many high-fidelity mannequins. These can breathe and respond to different scenarios we put them in. We have them from a range of birthing mothers to adults. This is a really great hands-on learning experience in a more controlled environment to prepare those students for those clinicals, whether they be at Winona Health in Winona here, Gunderson in La Crosse, or the Mayo Clinic health system in the southeastern region of Minnesota. Moving on to the College of Science and Engineering. I've said it a few times and I'll say it again, a very hands-on learning experience. You can see our students in our many lab spaces on campus here. We do also have lab spaces off of campus as well. We do have a Mississippi River boat that Winona State owns and operates. It's called the Cal Fremling. The first floor of the Cal Fremling is a formal classroom with TVs, Wi-Fi, seating, ample plug-in space. And then the second floor is an auditorium space as well. I took a physics course my first year as a student at Winona State, and we went out on the Cal Fremling and measured the velocity of the Mississippi River. So again, unique hands-on learning experiences. I also like to point out our composite materials engineering program we have at Winona State. So we are the only university in the United States that offers composite materials engineering at an undergraduate level. This is very highly sought after. They make things like sporting goods, aerospace, defense. So a lot of our students will be recruited for full-time employment prior to even wrapping up their junior year here at Winona State because of that high demand program. And again, we are the only university in the country that offers that at that undergraduate level. We do also offer pre-professional programs here at Winona State as well. These are not standalone majors, but these are designations that you can add on to a major. You can see our full list on the slide here. One great thing about when you do choose a pre-professional program is students, you get an additional advisor as well. So this is just another support system in place for you to really help you be successful and kind of help you along the way and figure out exactly what those next steps are. And speaking of help, we understand that college is a super exciting time, but it can also be a little bit stressful as well. So we understand that sometimes you need a little bit of help along the way. So we do offer a large number of resources on campus for our students to access. I like to point out tutoring services and the writing center. We do also have counseling services at Winona State. These are all included in your tuition at no extra cost. And of course, the Integrated Wellness Center, this is home to our gym as well. And then of course that counseling services, and we do have a on-campus clinic for our students to access to. And then a little bit more about the application process for Winona State University. So we do have an online application. It's going to take you about 15 minutes or so to fill out. It's primarily demographic-based questions. There's no essay requirement. There is a $20 application fee, but every year during the month of October, we do waive that application fee. But if you are applying not during October and that $20 application fee is a hurdle for you, please let us know and we can get that waived. And then we will need those official high school transcripts as well. So whichever way your school sends those, whether those be in the mail or digitally, it does not matter. It just needs to come right from the high school itself. And we are test optional for the fall semester of 2022. So that means we are not requiring ACT or SAT scores to be admitted to Winona State. We do still encourage students to take those exams as they can help with course placement as well as third-party scholarship consideration. Moving on to some admission standards here at Winona State, we are looking for a high school GPA of 3.0 or higher, or to be in the top half of your high school class rank. If either of these apply to you, you are automatically admitted to Winona State. Maybe you're a little bit below that and you did send in an application and you got a response you weren't quite looking for. We do have an appeal process here at Winona State. So this is going to include a personal statement, typically 1 to 2 pages long, just kind of explaining your journey so far and your college readiness, as well as 2 letters of recommendation from faculty members at your high school. This is a little bit of a timeline of what that senior year might look like for you. So in August, our applications open up for that following fall. September, our housing application opens up. October, FAFSA opens up. So even if you're not totally sure you're going to need financial aid, we still encourage students to fill this out, as you might be surprised at the amount of grants that you are eligible for. December through April, we do have what are called Wsu Days. These are events we have on campus that are faculty-led. So these are opportunities for you to come back to campus and really get to meet some faculty members within the specific departments that you might be interested in. So they'll really get that one-on-one conversation, really get to know a lot about those programs that you might be thinking about. In January, the foundation scholarships open up. We'll touch on that in just a second. In May, May 1st is National Decision Day. So you might be hearing a lot from your high school counselors right around then about where you are thinking about going. We do not require a decision to be made by May 1st. So if you're still kind of trying to make that decision after May 1st, that's totally fine. We will accept decisions after that. June, we do have registration days throughout the summer. So these are days where students will come back to campus. They'll get signed up for those fall semester classes. They'll get their student ID. They'll get their laptop issued to them, which we'll talk about in a little bit as well. And then before you know it, it's August. It's welcome week. You're moving into your residence hall. You're getting to know those other folks on your floor. You're getting familiar with campus, and you're getting ready for that first week of class. So we like to say at Winona State that we are affordable for a reason. You can see on the left-hand side here, this is a breakdown of what a full year looks like at Winona State University. You can see the technology program is included in there, which again, we'll touch on in just a second. And then the housing and meal plan is included in there as well. And then that total number at the bottom, it's important to understand that most students do not see that final number, as 94% of first-year students do receive some sort of financial aid as well as scholarships. So this is a breakdown of our first-year student scholarships that we offer. These are merit-based, so you are automatically considered for these scholarships just by applying to Winona State. So when you apply and you send us that transcript, this is how we determine what you are qualified for. We do also have those Wsu Foundation Scholarships I mentioned a moment ago. So these, the application opens up in January. We give out over $1.8 million a year in Wsu Foundation Scholarships. So we really encourage students to look into that and pursue those. Moving on to our digital life and learning program. I touched on it a little bit earlier. So this is a really fantastic program unique to Winona State. When you come to school at Winona State University, you are issued a laptop. So this is included in your tuition. You get the choice between either a MacBook Pro or an HP EliteBook. You get the newest model at that time. Every 2 years, you do bring that laptop back and you will be issued the newest model at that time. And then when you graduate, you have the option to purchase that laptop for just $25. But during your time as a student at Winona State, you are getting so much more than just the device itself. You're also getting access to all necessary software you might need. So, you know, Microsoft Office, Photoshop, things like that. This is really your device during your time as a student at Winona State as well. So you can take this home with you over winter and summer break, decorate it with stickers however you want, download video games on it, whatever you want to do. It is your device. Also included in that digital life and learning program, you do get access to round-the-clock tech support. So we have 2 different locations on campus, so very convenient. And then you do also get 1,000 pages of printing paper per semester as well. And then we are a wireless campus here at Winona State too. So that means that no matter where you are on campus, whether you are in an academic building or you're outside on the lawn enjoying the weather, when the weather is really nice out, especially in the fall and the spring, you'll see lots of students just hanging out, maybe pitching up a hammock, just enjoying the weather. You will have access to Wi-Fi outside as well. Switching gears a little bit, we're going to talk about housing and residence life. So why does it make sense to live on campus? Well, one, it is very convenient. No matter which residence hall you choose, you will typically be within 5 to 10 minutes of any other building on campus. It is quality and affordable, and it is an instant community. So a little bit about that instant community. 94% of first-year students do live in the residence halls here. So it is not required for you to live on campus, but as you can see, an overwhelming majority of our first-year students do choose to do so, as well as 30% of upperclassmen do live in our residence halls here as well. So I believe that's kind of a testament to the community that we create here on campus, that those students are choosing to come back after that first year as well. Touching on that convenience piece I mentioned earlier, some of our transportation options we have to get around Winona and the surrounding areas. We do have an Amtrak stop in town here, just a few blocks away from campus. This will take you up to the Twin Cities, down to Chicago, and many spots in between. So again, if you don't want to bring a car that first year and the Amtrak is convenient for you, you do not have to bring a car. We do have free bike rentals for all students at Winona State to take advantage of. So we have a bike shop on campus. You just show that student ID, you get access for the day. You see a lot of students doing this. They'll be going around the lake, maybe just going to Target or something like that. You'll see them using the Winona State bike rental service pretty often. We do also have a few bus lines in town as well. So again, getting around town is very easy. We do also have a few enterprise rent-a-car vehicles parked right on campus here. So this is pretty unique. You can actually rent these out by the hour, and you can rent these out at the age of 18. So if you want to make a quick run to Target with your friends, something like that, you can do that, and you can rent it out just by the hour. And like I said, those are parked right on campus, so very convenient. And then of course we have things like Lyft as well in town, so lots of great options. We do have a large variety of on-campus housing options, starting off with the quad. This is 4 different housing halls put into one building. They have a nice courtyard in the middle with a volleyball court and also just great lawn space to hang out. We do have Prentice Lucas as well. This is our mirror image building. So both sides are identical. This is Prentice Lucas right there. They do share a community area in the middle, and then there's a volleyball court outside of that building as well. Sheehan Hall, you can see here. Fun fact, this is actually the tallest building in the city of Winona at 13 stories. So you're guaranteed to have pretty good views no matter which room you get in Sheehan Hall. And again, a volleyball court outside of that building as well. And then we have Kirkland Hockey. So these are our suite style residence halls that we have at Winona State here. So similar to an apartment style where you walk in, you have a living space, and then you would have either 2 double rooms within that suite or 4 singles. And then you also would share a bathroom and a sink, so a shower as well within that communal space. Some residence hall amenities. So every single residence hall on campus here will have the following. So that includes community kitchens and lounges, typically on each floor, as well as on that main level of the building. They will all come with a front desk. So this is where you're going to go to pick up packages, rent things out. So they have pots and pans for you to cook with. You can even rent DVDs out, things like that. And as I mentioned before, we are a wireless campus. So of course, that does include our residence halls as well. And then each residence hall room is equipped with cable too. So if you wanted to bring a TV that first year, you have access to over 90 channels within your room. Lofts, so these are not standard within the rooms at Winona State, but a lot of students will choose to rent out a loft kit. They're only $50 a semester. This is a great way to maximize the space in your room, maybe throw a futon in there, things like that. For security, so all residence halls are locked at all times, and the only way to get into the residence hall is with a student ID. And then after 11 p.m., any guests that do come into the residence halls, you have to check in at the front desk. So just extra levels of security to make sure our students are staying safe here. And then we do have live-in support staff as well. So we will have 1 RA on each floor and then 1 hall director within each building. Touching on some of our meal plans here. So we have a variety of different options for students here, ranging from our Warrior Anytime plan. So you will get unlimited access to our Jack Kane Dining Center, which is in Crisco Commons. That is our student union, all the way down to our 14 meals per week and our 10 meals per week. You can see there is an inverse relationship with the amount of dining dollars in each meal plan and how many swipes you get per week. So the dining dollars are reset every semester, and this is money loaded onto your student account that you can use at our restaurants we have on campus, such as Panda Express, Einstein Bros Bagels, as well as Starbucks, Caribou, things like that. We do also have a G8 allergen station within Jack Kane Dining Center. So we really try our best to cater to all food sensitivities. And then we do have a registered dietitian on campus for all students to access as well. Kind of continuing in that affordable for a reason motto that we have here at Winona State. This is what a breakdown of a full year would look like living on campus. So you can see that number can vary a little bit depending on which residence hall and which meal plan you choose. The application process for living at campus at Winona State. So once you are admitted to Winona State University, there is an online application. So it's a $250 prepayment and signed agreement. And then room selection opens up in late spring, early summer. So as I mentioned a little while back, the housing application does open up in mid-September. So the sooner you apply, the better. It is on a first come, first served basis. So if you are definitely thinking Winona State, I encourage you to apply for housing right away. If you've ever booked like a cruise ship before, that's exactly what it's like picking a room here at Winona State. So pretty unique. You get to know exactly which residence hall you will be staying in, and then which floor and which room you are getting as well. And these are some facilities that we cannot show you on a typical campus tour, but these are amenities that all residence halls come with. And we encourage you all to follow Housing and Residence Life on social media. These are student-run accounts, so it's a really great way to kind of see what it's like to live on campus here at Winona State. If you do have any questions regarding housing and residence life, feel free to give them a call at 507-457-5305. Otherwise, shoot them an email at housing@winona.edu. That is all I have for you today. We do have our contact information listed up here. Again, my name is Brady Johnson. I cover the Southeast region of Minnesota. If you're not totally sure who to contact, you can always just reach out to our admissions office main contact. But I did receive some questions in the chat while I was presenting, so I will kind of get to those here. So what is a designation program? So what that means is typically a 4-year program. You will receive your bachelor's degree, and then that is traditionally, depending on what you want to do, that would be the kind of the main step into moving on into the workforce. But we have other options as well. So like if you wanted to go on to be a vet, so that would be a designation, would be pre-veterinary, otherwise pre-med, things of that nature. So for example, for pre-veterinary, you would major in either biology or chemistry. So you do 4 years at Winona State, and then that additional advisor would help you figure out exactly where you would need to go to continue your education. And then the other question we got was, when it comes to my application, are there any particular things that you did not mention that the admission team looks at. Example, tips and tricks for the narrative on the application. So really what we're looking for is that high school GPA or that class rank. If you do not meet those qualifications, and like I mentioned, if you apply and you got an answer you weren't quite looking for, really what we're looking for after that is in that personal statement, just explaining to us maybe why your GPA wasn't that great, or explaining what you have done to really kind of change the tide, and why you believe that you are prepared for college and will be successful. And then, of course, those letters of recommendation as well, from faculty members who can really back you up and say, yep, they are definitely ready to continue their education. Do you have any first generation college student supports groups or additional scholarships? So we do have a number of support groups we have here on campus, the Warrior Success Center being one of them. So they will help you out in any way you need possible. So I personally was a first generation student. So most of the folks in my family, as much as they wanted to help me out, they didn't really have the answer to a lot of the questions that I had, just because they hadn't been in that situation before. So our counselors and advisors are really there to help you along the way, answer any questions you may have, and kind of point you in the right direction. We do also have the TRIO office on campus as well. They cater to a wide variety of students, first generation students being one of them. So again, multiple resources for our students to access. And it looks like that is all we had for questions. So I want to thank you all very much for considering Winona State University. And please, if you do have any questions, do not hesitate to reach out. And we always encourage students, if you're considering Winona State, definitely swing by for an official campus visit. It is really the best way to see our academic buildings, get to know some of those faculty members, and ask some of those questions that you may have. So thank you again.